up to get down. Get up to get down.
I think I know what I'm doing.
Okay, I'm gonna step on my foot. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Talent Tuesday.
I don't want to hear nothing else about your foot anymore.
Welcome to Talent Tuesday. Good to be here. Last time I tried to make it here, I fell down the steps and hurt my foot. So DJ Spen was in here handling it with the crew. I guess you all made out all right.
We made out okay, I do believe.
All right. Well, let's get started because I'm excited today. I just spent my time listening to jazz songs while the commercials were playing. And can I say, At Jazz has a new fan. Okay, so anyway, you know I don't fan out over anybody.
No.
Except Stevie Wonder. So, today we are back with Talent Tuesday. For those who have never joined us before, we are Quantize Recordings, and this is our A&R show. We do this twice a month, and what we're going to do is check out some songs that producers have submitted, and we want you to get in the chat and give us your feedback. Someone sent me an email, I can't remember your name, to shout you out, and said they like it when we interact more with the people in the chat, and they wondered why we didn't do it last time. Because I fell down the steps and I wasn't here to do it. And Spen cannot run the music and talk on the chat.
It was. I tried to play it off, but it was.
Well, I'll jump in the chat.
Work.
I'll try to jump in the chat on Facebook and on Twitch. I can't promise you Mixcloud or YouTube. Sorry, but I will get on Twitch and get on Facebook and engage with you and check out your feedback. So do drop your comments in the chat. Producers, if you want to get in on this party, not for tonight because it's too late. 2 weeks from now, I think.
And are we doing 2 weeks from now? No, you got to tell me that.
We don't know, because 2 weeks is a special day. It's my mother's birthday, so I don't know if we'll be on. We got to talk about that. But drop your music anyway, music at quantizerecordings.com, and we will get it onto our next show. So let's get right on down to this.
All right.
Okay, so first up, we have, he's a member of the Quantize family.
Yes.
By now.
Ain't nothing special about this cat.
He is something special. He is family.
Special. Ain't nothing
he's
special.
Hector Romero. You all know him from Def Mix, and he's A&R for, what's that label he does A&R
Fania? Are you still A&R for Fania? Is that Fania? Is that correct?
Oriana.
Oh,
okay, my bad.
Spen will mess up the name.
If it was Fania, that would be amazing as well.
It's still amazing.
It's still amazing.
Right, don't get it twisted.
It feels good to be here today with you guys. Yes, I feel like you guys are part of my family for sure. So yes, extended love. Always. Happy to be here and take part.
Thank you, Hector. We appreciate you.
Man. Yeah, and everything you do when you take over for Praise Party, man, it's hard to come behind you because it's like, oh, Hector rocked it. Like,
Hector did this. Hector did that.
Right. Like, okay, what am I supposed to do to come behind that? Blah, blah, blah.
Believe me how I feel. I got big shoes to fill every time you ask me.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And where is At Jazz coming to us from?
He is from I want to say a city in England.
Whoa.
But he is quite English, mate.
Yes, we know he's English.
Oh my goodness.
At Jazz, I don't know where in England you are, but let me tell you, you have a new fan. So we were joking before the show started, and I always, I have a thing about calling DJs by their proper name. It's just a thing that I do. And so I asked him his name, and we've met before, and so I was asking Spen, do I know his music? And so while the commercials were coming on, I started pulling up At Jazz music. I was like, oh yes, I like this one. Then the Saint Germain thing, I was like, yes, this one too. And then one of my favorites that was on our label, the Reach for the Stars.
Yeah.
That's probably
no
disrespect towards Kev. That's the
Kevin,
only. That's
Kevin.
the only mix I like. Is that? Sorry. The one that I play is, which I didn't realize that was the one I liked all this.
Yes.
At Jazz.
Yes.
So At Jazz, welcome. Where are
man,
you? Where are you in England, At Jazz?
I have no idea.
Right. The fact that you have cell service and that you have data and able to Wi-Fi, I'm shocked.
I don't even have electricity. It just happens.
Wow.
No, I'm based in a city called Derby, which is kind of right in the middle.
Derby.
In Middle England, where the hobbits and people like Frodo Baggins live and things like that.
Okay.
So thank you so much. Welcome to the show. We're excited to have you on.
Very much for having me.
Thank you. Man, it's an honor actually to have the both of you on one show. Is one of my biggest dreams, realistically, seriously. So because Hector's like one of my. I always go to him like, yo, this sound good. What you think about this? You think this blah blah blah? And really, seriously, I don't think, in my opinion, from a musical and underground perspective, I don't think I am a fan of anybody more than I am a fan of Martin At Jazz. So thank you both for being here.
Yes,
nice.
Yes, absolutely. It's an honor to be here for sure. And to finally speak with Martin and talk to him here. I was telling him how many tunes I have of his in my iTunes, but yes, it feels good to be here with like-minded people.
I want to do a show one day and have DJs on and say, what are your top 3 genres in your iTunes list?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how iTunes shows you like the ones you play the most?
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Okay.
What songs do you play the most?
And Kelly, really quick, I'm sorry to interrupt, but also, my wife has been wanting to do DJ Wives show.
See, now that's something that we've been kicking around.
And then we should spill all the tea about the DJs, like the quirks, what they do behind the scenes, the music they listen to, what they eat.
When I sing in the shower.
You sing?
Anyway, let's get to the music.
That.
Yeah.
We're going to do that. We're going to do that.
Okay.
I love it.
All right. Okay. Let's move.
All right. Are you ready? Is everybody ready? We have 5 tracks. I cannot promise you the quality of any of these tracks because I did listen to a couple. And
that's
two
the
of
producer of this.
Yeah, 2 of the producers I somewhat know. They're repeat offenders.
Oh, that's
so
good.
we'll see what they got going on. So you ready to get into
I'm
this?
ready to get into it.
All right. We have to shout out to our fam, right?
I mean,
We've got
you can,
Mike
yes.
Freak in the house.
Mike is around, and Tommy is around.
Tommy Davis in the house.
Yeah, we were too busy having regular fan moments
Candace
today.
McKenzie in the house.
Yes.
I'm about to start us out.
She's like, yeah, okay.
Well, is that it?
Yeah, that's it for today.
All right. Well, let's get into this first track. It's called My Heart, and hope you enjoy it. Drop your comments in the chat. It's Talent Tuesday.
live
talking to
too.
me. I turned it on.
My mic is live just as well.
I might.
Before you say anything crazy, which
I
he
wasn't
is
saying
known
it.
to do.
No, I'm not.
No, we are we? Did you get
Oh,
it?
look at that. See, you're making me mess up.
Oh,
I
don't
just put
mess
up
up.
12 days of Christmas and all
No,
kinds of
it's not
crazy
12. I'm making them nervous. I have that effect on people. We are. Hopefully we have turned on Facebook. Sorry about that,
Yeah,
Facebook
sorry
fam.
about that. Yeah, we totally forgot to turn Facebook on
Yeah.
today. So we'll see if looks like we should be on.
All
And-
right.
Oh, and thank you guys for the subs and the bits and stuff. Looks like we close to a hype train over on Twitch.
Okay.
So
Nice.
we appreciate that.
All right.
We'll
So
get through it.
this was our first track up called My Heart. 82% I was tracking over there on the poll. Like this one. So let's go on over to our judges and get some feedback on this. Let's start with @Jazz. @Jazz, what did you think about My Heart?
Overall, I think it's. I saw some comments about the mix, which I kind of picked up on. I'm listening through my Neumann speakers in my studio, which are really high-end speakers. I think the mix is really good. I'm guessing the squashedness is either because someone's done a home master or it's the stream or something.
Yeah, probably more so from the stream.
Yeah, exactly. So I won't go into that. But for my money, it sounds great. I actually would play this absolutely. I think it's really cool. It reminds me of some like late 90s, early 2000s kind of house music that came out that was quite smudgy in a good way. Quite smudgy, like where people were really almost around the time that Daft Punk were doing the cooler stuff, where kicks and bass lines were kind of really squashed together, and it sounded in a club it just rolls. It's quite nice to do this straight after the track. Actually, this is something I don't often get to do. One thing I would say is I feel that I'm not a great big lover of snare rolls. Okay, that's my problem, no one else's. So
It's quite a lot of people problem.
Okay, so I think that actually takes away from what this song's about. It's almost like it's the other side. It's like it's there for effect and not actually adding anything to the song. So for me, the snare rolls, and I'll put that on the shelf for a moment because it leads into something else, which is my only other comment, is I think when a song has such good elements, which with a really, really core amount of soul in it, and it's starting to build, the last thing I want to happen within a minute and a half is a breakdown. I heard this, the vocal that comes in, that I felt that staying in as the beat was building, as things, and then there was bits of guitar coming in, and I just felt that all needed to come in while the beat was still continuing on. Then you can give it up to 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes, then start to break it down. Then you can bring it back in without so much of a effort, which is the snare rolls. The other thing I absolutely loved about this tune is when I put my hand in there straight away as soon as it started, is when people are bold and throw percussion in straight away without you even knowing it's coming. So when the congas and the claves came in, you get this kind of this shuffly pickup. I love this. So that's my thing. So I would say if I'm doing this out of 10 points, 7.8, only because I think if those elements were altered and the arrangement, the time arrangement was adjusted in that way, it'd be in the bag.
Awesome.
All right. Well, that was some good feedback. I hope you're watching, producer, because
I hope everybody's watching.
we said we would give you feedback. You just got schooled. Okay, Hector. You got a 7.8, Hector. So what do you think?
I like to echo a lot of things that Martin said, and especially the snare roll. I wrote that down. It was almost like unnecessary, or even that style of a snare roll was not necessary for the style, the groove that this song was all about. I feel it's a feel-good vibe record. I thought the arrangement wasn't so bad at all. I felt like there was a bridge that was missing. I think all the elements like the horns and bass line, they were really good, really well produced track. I think this one, if you're picking it up for the labels, I think this one works more for your new label QU3. I think that one really fits the new label. What else can I say that I wrote down? Yeah, the vocal. Of course, it's a nice vocal hook. I wanted more vocal, because I'm a sucker for vocals, but that's all right. It is what it is, and it almost sounded like a dub, almost somewhat, but overall, it really was well produced, and I'd give it an 8 for sure.
All right.
Not bad.
Okay, Tommy Davis.
Yep. Let's hear from Tommy.
What you got to say?
Hey, those critiques already, they were excellent. Like, wow, okay. I really like the song. I like the way it moved. I like the kind of energy because I think we're missing some of that kind of 90s kind of energy that sometimes that was a little bit rough and kind of gritty, and I liked it about it. It started off and hit right into it. So I give it an 8. I really liked it. I just like that kind of bass line, and I like the way it moves. Even the breakdowns. I mean, I'm not a breakdown person, but when it did it, I knew it was going to slam back into that funky part. So it felt good.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Tommy.
Very good. Mike Freak. Let's hear this.
Mike Freak,
Oh.
They said this is good for Q. What do you
Actually,
think?
yeah, I'm ready to give it a 6.9.
What? It's getting a 6.9?
A 6.9.
That is Mike
Oh, that's
Freak.
Mike Freak's.
That is a
This is
good
perfect.
score from Mike Freak.
Listen, I don't need you to give Act Jazz encouragement to act a fool. Don't come in here with 6.9 and all that foolishness.
That's what we do. That's what we try to do.
All right.
So you think you can take this on
Yes.
Q and do
Oh, yeah.
something special with it?
Yep. I'll put the snare roll, make it harder.
You know what? Bye, boy. Bye.
All right. It looks like we are off to a really good start.
Good start.
Let me just
Thank
check
you.
in.
Yeah,
Let me
wait a
check
minute.
in.
Thanks you so
Wait,
much. We had a hype
let's
train
think about it.
level 2.
Oh, we
Say
did
what?
have a hype train.
We're in hype train level 2 mode.
Yep.
Thank you to everybody giving us the subs and the bits. What's up, Blue Angel and DJ Timothy Callahan and Ricky Pound and everybody over on the Twitch side of things. Thank you all for checking us out.
Over on Facebook, Andre Blackman, what's up? And we have Mark Miller. Shout out to y'all. Thank you for joining us this evening. What's up, Mitch McCrae? Always in the house. Stephen Colangelo, how do we submit a song? Music at quantizerecordings.com. It will not be on tonight, but it will be on our next show. All right, let's go ahead into this. Shout out to DJ Anthem. What's up, Dan? Checking in. Put your feedback in the chat. We want to hear from you. Next up, we have 2 songs back to back from the same producer.
No. One.
Did you move them?
Yes. So now we just have one.
You're not doing his other one?
No.
Cake Flat?
Yep. Well, is that the same
That's
guy?
him. That's him as
All
well.
right. So okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
I know what
All
I'm
right.
talking about.
You think so? So that's correct.
If you all hear him yell, you know I've stepped on his toe with this big boot I'm wearing. Okay, track number 2 is called Black Gal Rock. And if you can make this Black Gal Rock, then we might have a signing tonight.
Yeah.
So drop your comments in the chat. It's Talent Tuesday. Stick with us, fam.
All they will
community leader over on Facebook, giving it an 8, but he wants an @Jazz spin on it. People get real cheeky when they see the producers are in the house. They're like, let me just go ahead and request the remix that I want. So, all right, Ted Majestic Soul says beautiful song, but the voice could be improved. Okay, fair enough comment. Let's go right on over to Hector and get some feedback on this one.
Hey, yeah. I remember listening to this earlier today. I was doing my homework before the show, and I remember hearing the quality of the mixdown was definitely a need for improvement on the mixdown. Also, the vocal recording also sounded a little like it needed improvement as well. I thought it was okay. I mean, the concept, the whole, the hook, everything. I thought that's brilliant. I feel like it could be better for sure. I give it like a 6 probably out of 10, 5 to 6 out of 10. I thought it was a bit long because it's more of a laid back groove, so it just doesn't go anywhere. I felt also her vocal delivery was a little lazy at times, but maybe that's what she was doing. Maybe she was doing this kind of moody, kind of like, delivery. But overall, I thought it was okay. Nothing that really blew me away, but it was okay, not bad.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Hector. Let's go over to @Jazz.
I think I like it a little bit more than Hector does. I would say that I listened to this one as well a little bit. It kind of reminds me of early Ocean Lode, maybe some of the tunes that were off Paradigm, and maybe not as deeply advanced, because some people just have the knack. But my thing, what Hector said about the mix, it can be improved, but also I quite like the softness of it. There's a subtlety to what it's doing, and I don't like to impress too much on people's mixdowns, because sometimes you want character, and sometimes you want that vibe of what someone felt when they were making that piece of music. You can take it to to the studio and have so and so produce it with you, and then it won't sound anything like you wanted it to.
Correct.
So you've got to be really careful, because every single piece of music that survives in this world has its own life, much like a being in essence. And we're all making this stuff from the bottom of our socks, So my feedback on this is the piano is a bit out of control. It's not too badly played, I'd say. I'm careful because I don't play super well, but when I do play, I'm very careful what I play. I place it in a place it means something and it's done well, and I leave it. I don't kind of plaster it everywhere, because then it becomes noodly, which this is a little bit noodly. That's my feedback on the piano. My other issue is, again, what Hector said with the vocals, and maybe I can lend a hand here. For my money, if you have a Waves version of the Teletronics LA2 or a UAD version of the Teletronics LA2, whack it through that so you can control it, so you can lift it. Don't over EQ out the bottom end of your vocals, because you're going to lose all the body and the tone. And also, if you do have a copy of Soothe, run it through Soothe, then you can push frequencies into it and start brightening things up without it going out of control. That's my reflection on that. For my money, I would say this is a high 6, maybe 6.8 to 7, only because of it just lacks a little bit of flair, and there's a bit too much noodly going all the way through. I do like the bridge, the little 8 that comes in. I like it when it changes there. That's very clever, very musical, and not a lot of people do that, so I appreciate that. So yeah, I'm down. I like it.
All right.
6.8,
Thank you.
6.8, yeah.
All right. 6.8-ish.
All right.
Let's check out Tommy. Tommy?
Oh, wait a minute.
Yes.
Make sure he's
So,
Did you
not.
mute
Okay.
him?
Okay. Not my style of record, but it did some interesting things that I'm really not a fan of, but he did it well. And that's to have the extreme pans. I have headphones on, so I could hear how he thought about, as he brought in percussion, when and what side it was playing on and stuff. So he was juggling in a mix that you don't hear that much anymore. Everything pretty much is linear now. So, but he did that, and when he was switching it up, The problem was the piano got so loud because everything else was panned. So the piano was dead center and loud. So besides the vocals being buried under and being unique and being that I did Ultra and Crystal, then when you have them a unique kind of vocals, their uniqueness need to sit above the track. You know what I mean? So that you don't seem like you're hiding them. You know what I mean? You don't want to seem like you want to hide them. And I thought she had a quirky kind of sound. Besides that, it was the interesting drum rolls and some things that he did, and they wasn't redundant. You know what I mean? It was almost like a live musician would do it. I mean, if he was with a band, they don't do the same thing all the time. They do stuff, and he did the mix like that with the percussion and with what he did as it went along. Kind of like what Timmy does. He might hold percussion to halfway through, and that for a dancer, that's an uplift. They'll say, "Oh, I didn't expect that to come in," because nowadays tracks kind of give you all at the beginning and it's all the way through. So I really liked it for that, especially when it's not my kind of song. But I really wanted to hear what she was saying more about Black girls because it had the potential of being a great song. I give it an 8.5 because on this show, when we listen to demos, this is pretty much almost finished. It's almost finished. We could just clean it up, and it's a lot of people will love it. So I give it an 8.5.
Okay, thank you, Tommy. Mike Freak.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to echo on what Ajaz was saying, with the piano, because I was like trying to think what was going on. It was either like I was trying to question like who did the producer play the piano or it was played by someone else. Sometimes producers hire like musicians to do it, and then you kind of like just want to fit everything in there, and sometimes it just doesn't work. And like I play music myself. I play the piano, and one of the things like I've learned throughout the years is if there's a good vocal run, the last thing you want to do is like mess it up by adding a solo or doing something else like jamming to the track. So you have to be conscious of how you're doing that with the music. So other than that, it's pretty much what everyone said. I agree on what everyone has said. So, but I like it. I like the music. It's pretty chill, I think. That's what the kids would say. This one's pretty chill.
What are you giving this one?
I'll give it this one an 8. It's really good. I like the breakdown. I think it could also work as an instrumental with just the piano solos. Take out the vocals. That could also work too. So,
now, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
So, Mike, did you have a chance to see?
Yes,
what
it was
said?
a 93%. I think it's one of the highest scoring track that we've had in a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
Spen, what did
My
you
thoughts. I liked it. For a demo, I like it because I can tell that this is definitely a novice producer, and I can tell that it's a raw production. It's definitely not polished, anywhere near polished. But I do agree with one thing that Ajaz said. Is just like when you're being creative. From that kind of standpoint, you have to be very careful what you say to a person because, it could literally deflate a person.
Right. We're not trying to crush souls.
No, we're not trying to do that. Right. But I think that there's definitely room to grow with the vocals for sure. I think the mix down is a completely different thing. But, with a lot of people, mixing is a completely different animal, and for a demo, from a demo standpoint, I give it a 7. The idea of the piano solo running throughout, probably not a really good idea. The piano solo should have its own space, or take the vocal off and make it a piano solo type of record, or one of those things. But the piano, in my opinion, needs editing. There's some really weird notes and things of that nature. So you have to take your time and kind of go through and pluck those out. But I give it a 7, and I agree with what everybody said. This was some of the greatest feedback we've had, I think, on the show. It's great.
You know what I liked about this one? Now maybe they
right, because you were dancing the first.
Maybe they
as soon as it was on, you were dancing. You was rolling right on through everything that was like, oh, that's what. But you over there dancing.
Maybe they sent it in, specifically. Maybe this isn't like the version as would be released. But you know what I liked about it? This is not a DJ version. I didn't have to wait 10 minutes. I mean, my God. But some of these songs that he makes, I'm like, I cook a whole dinner and the song has not come in yet. I know it's a DJ thing. I get it, but I hate that part.
I'm making some tools for some DJs
I
to be
get
able to
it,
play the records.
but I'm selling records to everyday people too, and they don't have time in their car. I mean, I could have been to
That's called a radio edit.
drop the child off at school by the time the song comes in. So when I heard the vocal come in so fast, I was like, oh, wait, I wasn't even ready. So
Right.
I actually thought it had a little vibe. I think it was Tonio Herbert said he could hear Crystal on this.
Yeah, I saw that. Actually, Crystal Waters on a track like this would not be bad.
Yeah.
Would actually not be bad. Would be very different and quirky.
Interesting.
as
Yeah,
well.
that would be,
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, it looks like a lot of people are giving it. Yes, I know it's a radio edit. I know, but I don't like. I can say what I say. This is my show.
Right.
I
And honestly,
said what I said.
one thing that I notice a lot about a lot of At Jazz records, he doesn't really do like really long
That's
intros.
probably why I like him.
Yes.
Because he doesn't do DJ Spen. Your intro just goes on and on. I mean, I'm getting ready to I'm trying to sing. I'm like waiting because I know it's coming. I'm like, whew.
This is why I do radio edits. Dear.
I know.
Yeah.
Yes. I do 3-minute
And I
versions
hate,
for people like you.
All my favorite songs of yours, I buy them on iTunes so they can be on my phone.
You actually buy my
and I
records?
hate when I
Wow.
buy the wrong one. I hate when I buy the wrong one because I'm going to listen to somebody. They're like, "Oh, what songs did your husband worked on lately that you like?" And I'm like, then I play it and we're just standing around like listening to the music. Like, when is there singing on this or what? So. Yeah, but I thought this was pretty good. I mean, I hear what you all are saying technically, but I thought it was I like the vibe of it all, the overall vibe.
That's good. That's awesome. I think
All right.
great feedback for
Well,
that. What we got next?
Let's see how consistent this producer is because this.
This is actually.
Wait a minute. This isn't his.
So I did know what I was talking about.
Where is the other one?
The other one we took that out to pay to.
We're about to listen to Cape Flats, right?
Yes, that's what we're listening to right now.
That is the same producer. This is the same
It
producer.
is the same person.
Yes.
All
So
right.
track 3 is called Cape Flats. It's Talent Tuesday. Talk to us. Tell us how you feel about this one.
In the air. As they drop, I see the parents on the Cape Flats and I see the despair. I see that girl that desperately wants long and straight hair. She doesn't know that a natural lives there. In turn, with envy she stares. I see love loss, low self-esteem and jealousy. I see our twig is a monopoly. This is my geography on the Cape Flats, a coloring book full of misery. They say study these books and Bibles. They never speak of the rivals. The reason called underground, because once you go under, you'll see the truth beyond your ground. You'll look deeper, see the reason, become a thinker. The young are targeted because they are weaker, but once the awakening comes, they become the eager seekers. See, this battle's not against flesh and blood, and these streets streets are masked with beautiful faces, but bloody tongues. Yes, vampires can't come out into the sun. Take it from me, I have not one diploma or one degree, because I believe at the most I will take me to chambers that I haven't seen. So I put my faith and my trust in him. It is wisdom I seek, even though I have to dig through your rubbish heap. I said, it is wisdom I seek, so I can relay and relate to the hungry minds that seek relief. I said, it is wisdom I seek. Words float like feathers in the air. As they drop, I see the parents on the Cape Flats and I see the despair. I see that girl that desperately wants long and straight hair. She doesn't know that a natural lives there. In turn, with envy she stares. I see love loss, low self-esteem and jealousy. I see how it triggers a monopoly. This is my geography on the Cape Flats, a coloring book full of misery. Mental brainwash. These are the things that the preachers and the teachers don't teach us. They say study these books and Bibles. They never speak of the rivals. The reason called underground, because once you go under, you'll see the truth beyond your ground. You'll look deeper, see the reason, become a thinker. The young are targeted because they are weaker, but once the awakening comes, they become the eager seekers. See, this battle's not against flesh and blood, and these streets are masked with beautiful faces, but bloody tongues. Yes, vampires can't come out into the sun. Take it from me, I have not one diploma or one degree, because I believe at the most I will take me to chambers that I haven't seen. So I put my faith and my trust in him. It is wisdom I seek, even though I have to dig through your rubbish heap. I said, it is wisdom I seek, so I can relay and relate to the hungry minds that seek relief. I said, it is wisdom I seek.
All right. That is track number 3.
It is wisdom I seek, even though I have to dig through your rubbish heap. I said, it is wisdom I seek.
All right.
Track entitled Kate
So I
Flats.
can relay and relate
So-
to the hungry minds that seek relief. I
Okay.
said,
Checking
it is
out
wisdom
the
I seek.
comments over on Facebook. Daniel, I'm assuming your last name, I should say it in Spanish. I think it's Huertas. Daniel says, awesome track, little lower on the conga. It becomes too overwhelming. Okay. Not bad. Andre Blackman, I like this too. I feel it could hit a little harder, but not bad. I like the spoken word. Interesting. Some people over on Twitch said they weren't sure about the spoken word. I feel it needs some more dynamics. Andre gives it a 6. All right, Twitch fam. Let's see. I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of mishmash in terms of what you're feeling over on Twitch. I think the poll was almost half and half. Hey, Soulful Susie. Soulful Susie says it basically has a lot going on here, which I think it does. So let's go right on over to @Jazz and get some feedback on this one from the pro.
So I can be a bit Gordon Ramsay, beware. So this is a very confused piece of music for my tastes. Okay, there's lots of it I like, and there's some of it I don't like for my tastes. Now I'm not the all speaking, so whatever I say isn't it. You know, it's just my feedback. I'm one person. I'm gonna straight in with the beats. I think that they're underdeveloped and a little bit clouded. It sounds like a loop in the background with some other stuff, which can be cool. It can be a bit 90s and a bit, warehouse, which is fine. I love the weird discordant chord that happens over in the left speaker. I like that. It's a bit Jordan Fields in a way. It throws me out, and I feel a bit twisted and all, US in a way when listening to that, which is nice. I really like the tone of the vocal, and I think that the content of the lyrics is amazing as well. Really cool.
Right.
Agreed. It was repeated. There's no need to do that. If you have a story, tell it. Decide when you're going to start telling it. End the story. Finish. Find something to do, because what this sounds like is a loop. I'm not. It's not really my kind of music. Okay. Again, that's my problem. No one else's. I don't think this is in between two worlds for me. We could talk about it needs producing, but it could also be really chunky and weird and warehouse, which I think it is. So I'm not the person to say what this is. The producer is, and if the producer wants to tell us, yeah, it's meant to be warehousey, it makes more sense to me. If it's not meant to be warehousey, it needs a lot of work. I'm just on the fence a lot with this. I visited South Africa. I'm a frequent visitor of South Africa, so I'm used to the accent as well, which is it's very cool for me. The introduction of the log drum was just another. Well, am I trying to be Amapiano? Am I trying to fit into this new world with the house beat? I don't know. It's confused. Make some decisions. If you want to do that, if you want to try and create a new style of music, you're going to have to do it with a little bit more focus. So it's a difficult one for me to reflect upon, and unfortunately I'm going to have to give this one a 6.
Okay.
A 6. I think the dog just gave it a 3. Let's go to Hector. Hector?
Yes. Brilliant feedback, Martin. Absolutely. For me, it's a 6. I did like the tone of her voice. Something that just was different. I'm not a huge fan of spoken word stuff, but her tone really grabbed me, so I wanted to listen more. And then, of course, I started hearing that it was repetitive. I didn't take away what was the hook of the song. I felt like it's missing. Like, what's the hook? I didn't get it. Or it didn't grab me. I'm not sure. I wasn't hearing it. So I just feel like it needs the right hook, or just to be rewritten and add a hook to it. Maybe I missed it. I'm sorry if I did. But what else can I say? Yeah, it's a 6 out of 10 for sure. I also felt like it was an acapella running over a track at some points. That was about it. It's just kind of like a little bit disconnected. But I think it has room for growth, though. It definitely it could work for sure. But as is, I think a 6 out of 10. And what Martin was saying and what I'm adding to it, I think that should be. I think that's a good way to go.
All right.
Okay, thanks, Hector. Tommy?
You know what? I should have took off for this show. These two guys before me. What can I say? Excellent. I mean, they say everything, and they say it professionally. Sorry about the phone. It's not mine. But I agree with everything they were saying. I was like, wow, that's correct. It's just the actual spoken word was unique. You know, I'm not a spoken word person either. I'm really not. But her accent and how clear it was recorded. I mean, she was recorded clearer than the track. So I could hear everything she said. And even though it was a repeating a lot of it, but it was really great and refreshing. So I give the track a 6. And what Ed just said about the discordant chord, that kind of irritated me a little bit because it made it sound amateuristic when you're not playing in one family of chords. And that's what he was doing. And sometimes it works, sometimes it can be irritating. So I give it a 6.
Okay. Freaky Mike, what up?
So yeah, kind of like what I was the same with Hector. I was like looking for a hook right there. I like spoken word, and like I think the deal with spoken word is like finding that hook that captures, you know, the message of your song. Because even if it's spoken word, it still needs to have a message. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to. I mean, it's pretty powerful, but you have to capture that, you know, that message right there that people will remember in your track. And I was hoping to hear that, and I didn't get it. So, and then there's like a disconnect between the music and the vocals. I mean, if you can find a better music to fit that vocals, I think this is a killer track because the vocals is really good, and it didn't do the vocals justice, I thought. So,
all right.
Yeah, I'd give this a 6.
6.
Okay.
And what did Facebook say? I mean,
it was 5th. What's Facebook?
I'm sorry.
What is Facebook? Really? Wow.
Call somebody old without calling them old.
Okay.
50%.
Sorry, Spen. I didn't mean to offend you.
Hey, you ain't offending me. Yeah, no idea.
50-50 on.
It's 55% on.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Spen?
I echo everybody else's sentiments. I give it a 5. I love the spoken word, but outside of that, and which is the only reason I'm giving it a 5. You know, if I'm looking at it as, you know, half about the vocals and half about the track, you know, that, you know, it's a 5 for me.
Okay. All right. Well, we should keep rolling on then, because we've
All
got
right.
2 more tracks.
Yeah.
This next one, I think the last 2, we had a producer who sent like a whole folder of tracks a few weeks ago.
Okay.
So I said I can't do them all at one time, but these last 2 are from that same producer that we heard from for the very first time last week. So let's check it out. This is called Soul Catcher.
It is Talent Tuesday.
their flash drive with their music on it. But seriously, if I've been talking to companies and about, sync licenses and licenses for restaurants and spas. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. That was interesting.
It is very interesting. We should jump right in. Just
Okay,
jump right
let's
on
just jump
in.
right in. Okay, let's go to Hector. Soul Catcher. Did this catch your soul, Hector?
Yeah. Yes and no. No, I'll be honest. Not really. I wanted it to. I really wanted it. I felt like, okay. But then it just didn't go anywhere, unfortunately. Just kept repeating. There was no real composition put into it. Just kind of the same bit. There was the breakdown that came in like probably a little too far into the track. But then unfortunately it didn't change up much from there. I do like lo-fi kind of sound music, very chill. Tempo was fine for me. I don't have a problem with the tempo. It doesn't always have to be 120 something. I love collecting good music that's at a slower tempo. But just this one just didn't have the right. It just didn't have the right to pull at my heartstrings. Just didn't have it. I give it a 5 out of 10. What else did I? It was a cool, floaty, dreamy groove, but unfortunately didn't go anywhere. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, Hector. Let's check in with Jazz.
Okay. I thought I was harsh. You're talking about stealing a spa's USB.
That wasn't in a bad way. I'm just saying. I really think this
it
is.
can be said in a good way.
I could hear this at my spa, literally in the lounge where all the ladies just hang out.
So I'm going to
sure.
put this. I'm going to put this song into perspective because I don't think I dislike it as much as as other people might. And I'll watch the comments. I thought they were a little bit harsh. They don't need to be.
Yeah, they were.
If this was 125 BPM and from 1995, and the first minute of this was on loop, it would sound like a Glen Underground record.
Okay.
All right, so
Okay, hold
so
on.
let's-
You know you've thrown down the gauntlet, and now
So let's-
Spen is going to
No, no,
demonstrate.
we're gonna try. Let's
Okay,
see.
let's see.
Oh, yeah. Faster.
Is that faster?
Faster. Let's see. Can I?
Stop.
That's about too much.
No.
All right, so that's about 122.
Turn this up. Turn the highs up a little bit.
Huh?
Turn the highs up a little bit.
Okay.
Right. Let's check it.
Yeah, there you go. Because
Right.
that was our first comment, and I know Tommy Davis. I know he agrees with that straight off. I didn't even have to go and even tell him what he thinks. But go ahead, Martin.
No, so any kind of music like this really, I mean, yeah, right. This isn't fully there. It goes off on a tangent and does a strange breakdown, which I'm not really fond of, to be fair, personally. But I do like that initial start. I like the slightly distorted 909 kick drum, which was over time. You know, very simple beats. You know, the skippy stuff. It's very simple, very tiny sounds, and you know, with all due respect to the person that wrote this piece of music, that's where they should be honing their skills into, because they're good at making that. So I'm not just going to sweep this with it didn't, float my boat thing. I think this person obviously has a heart and a soul that's put their energies into this and has looked at a sundown, and gone, oh God, I've got this feeling I want to make a tune, because we've all done that. And that's the beauty in this piece of music. It just goes weird for me. It just goes off on a tangent. If it was faster, I think that this kind of piece of music has a purpose and will dictate how it unfolds itself. I think it would generally and naturally tell you what to do next. I think with a piece of music like this, so slow, it's hard to fill the gaps. It's just, it's empty of ideas. And that's unfortunately a little bit of a sad feedback, but I do get it. And I put my energy into telling telling you what I feel the powers of this piece of music are, because I do believe that first bit, that first minute or minute and a half, is really sweet. I think it's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike's score is, unfortunately, it's a 4.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Tracy Stevens over on Twitch says it sounds like Banana Republic music. But listen, if you get your song played in a mainstream store on their, rotation list, not
Cha-ching.
Not
Well,
too shabby. Not to an international store.
Yeah, not a bad thing at all. But that is great feedback, because that was my initial thing. I was like, it's just too slow.
Well, we thought something was going to happen.
Yeah, and actually we thought it was going to grow into something else.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, what would you give it, score wise?
I don't know.
Because this is rocking right here. Now it's a totally different thing. Totally different thing.
It's got a vibe.
It's a totally different thing.
So, Tommy.
Yes.
Talk to me, Tommy.
Come on, Tommy.
What? Hey, man, Martin, you said everything I was going to say. And Spen knew I was going to do this. He knew I was going to say, dude, speed this up to get the vibe. I really like the sound, like the mood, the feel of it. But, and there is a place for music like this. Not everything can be hit shot. In between us docs needs records like this to fit in between so we can go on movements. And I really like it. It reminds me of just earlier music, back when imports for us Americans, imports would come like this. And they became big records over here because nobody was making them over here. And I like it. I really liked it a lot. But I was expecting it to do something else, to bring some other instruments, and it just didn't. It stayed in this deep. I love the bass. I love the simple kicks on it. I just think that they don't have a place with us. So I have to speak really from Quantize, and this would end up on Unquantized. So
It would.
Hey, I'm sorry.
It would.
I don't see how we could do you any benefit.
And how many records have we taken on where we've remixed them and changed the speed?
No,
so it wouldn't be uncommon.
Yes, it would. You always give me a fight about that.
Right.
Sometimes.
I don't think you've ever taken anything this slow, have you?
Not this slow, no.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe about 5 BPMs different or something.
See, so we're talking about as producers that run a label, we don't want to take an artist thing and put so much of us in it that it's not
that
you.
That it takes away from what it is.
Right. Taking away what they wanted it to be.
And it happens a lot with us because we sign you because we hope that they like your mix, but we also add other mixes for people that put the elements that they want to hear. So it's not that we're doing it on purpose, it's just we're trying to cover all the bases. And as a label, that's what we're doing. When we sign you, we're trying to sell music. We're not trying to make you a fan club, we're trying to sell music. We're in the business of selling music. But I really like this. I liked it even as down tempo, Kelly. I thought about Quantize and chill a little bit. But
I was hoping it was gonna go to just a little something else after the beginning. I thought it was gonna go in a different direction, and that's instantly what I was thinking. Oh, this might be Quantize and chill, because this is the one that I didn't listen to this one at all. So I was kind of excited to hear it.
It's with the sound that sound like Christmas music. I was waiting for the Munchkins or something to sing. I just needed something else. I needed something else to actually do it, to make it more Quantize and chilly. So, I mean, great work, though. I mean, I just think this is not the label for it. I think you send this to some other labels that do music similar to this, and you might get something going.
All right.
Okay.
All right. What
was
the scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, Tommy, did you give a score, Tommy?
A 5.
Tommy.
5. Okay.
Tommy's
5.
giving it a 5.
Tommy. Freaky Mike, what up?
Yo, I kind of like it. I don't know. I'm kind of like, I like it, but I don't. But I like it, I don't. And so, it kind of like gave out different emotions right there. But I like it as it is, as slow, as a slow track. Because I listen to a lot of slow tunes on the way after gig. And this is kind of like a good one of those, like, oh, I'll probably give this one a go. And And then so at the middle of it, I was like, oh, if I was listening to this one in the car, I'll probably like as soon as it's like a minute or two, I'll probably move on to the next track. So
Right.
yeah. So I don't know. But yeah, I'll give this one a 5. But
Okay.
when it was sped up, it became a different track.
Oh, when it was sped up, it was a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Whole nother
So,
thing.
I mean, we could speak to this producer because it just needs a bit of a guidance right there.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll give them your number.
Slide on my DMs.
Yes.
All right.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. So what's the last track of the night?
Last track of the night. This is the same producer, right?
Oh, it is the same producer.
Yes.
All right.
Infectious. Is
Okay.
the name. Let's check it out.
All right. It is Talent Tuesday. All right.
Okay.
That is infectious.
A little better than the other one, in my opinion. Let's start out with Hector and Mike because I think they both have to go.
Yeah, I think Mike's already gone.
Oh, he's gone.
So,
All right. Well, let's
go
start off
ahead
with
and tell
Hector.
Right on, Mike split. Right on.
Yeah.
You know, this producer definitely has a deep mind, and he comes up with some cool ideas. I just feel that there just need to be developed a little bit better. A lot of the sounds sound a little stock sound type of stuff that he's producing with. The arrangement issues, I think there were as well. But I like the hook. It was dreamy. It was floaty. It was pretty cool. But I think this producer has potential to be guided in the right direction. Maybe he just needs to listen to some more deep house, some proper deep grooves to be inspired. But it was okay. It was a 5 out of 10 for me.
All right.
All right. And I know that you got to go, man. Listen, thank you for joining us tonight. Much appreciated. We love you, and thank you
guys
for
as
all
well.
of your
Always,
stellar
this
comments,
has always
man.
been always fun with you guys, and an honor to
Thank
be
you.
with the rest of the gang as well. Martin, thanks for your time, your knowledge, your contribution to music as well. Totally appreciate you, man. We'll catch up real soon. All right.
Thanks, Hector.
All right.
All right.
Bye, guys.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye,
All
guys.
right.
You're going to move on to At Jazz?
Yeah, let's go on over to At Jazz.
I'm gonna stick around for this one.
Oh, he's gonna stick around. DJ
I love
can't-
what he
can't-
says always.
Right. So I'm gonna agree with Hector on a few on 3 main points there. I think that there's a lot of development needs to happen here. It does sound quite stock. And you know, which is it's quite sad to say because there's always I say these things with this is constructive feedback. This isn't destructive. It never is destructive.
Right.
This person obviously has some skills which need to be honed in. So take all of this information and write it down and use it. That's what I did in my life. I had some great mentors. One main mentor was Charles Webster, who was a hard person to please. So but I got
very freaks.
Exactly. So Charles was living 10 miles away from me and basically helped me realize that I was able to stand on my own 2 feet. So it's that kind of thing I'm talking about here. There's some beauty here. Have you noticed that we haven't even talked about the mix and stuff? Because I don't think it matters in music like this. This is the kind of music that people mix the way they want to mix it. And as long as it's not wrong, which there is an element where it goes wrong, I think that it's okay to have it the way you want it. So I think it's just a matter of, the last 2 songs, let's put it like this. There's some good ideas there. There aren't 2 songs here. These are just tracks that are of a good quality that someone has put their heart and soul into, that they've hit the nail on the head with what they want to do. It's just now, what do they do with it? This isn't ready for release in my book, and I've signed a lot of very lo-fi music where I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what can we do with this, and how do we take it forward, and what kind of feedback can I give this person? I think the best feedback that this person needs at this minute is that this is all really, really good stuff, but it needs a lot of hard work. And like Hector said, there needs to be some referencing here, and you need to go, if you're making this kind of music, you need to go back to 1995 and listen to music coming out of Chicago.
Yep. Word. Truth.
Right.
Truth.
I would even say go back to 1985 and listen to some really, really raw stuff out of Chicago.
You really could go right that far back, but this, I think, this has that kind of electronic soul sound, but it's just missing the mark. So
That's it.
5.
Brilliant. Bye, guys.
This is 5.
Respect.
Thank you, Hector.
Yo, take it easy, Heck.
All right, so we've got a 5 from Hector and a 5 from At Jazz.
Okay.
Tom
Davis.
Yeah, let's talk to Tommy.
I feel it's almost the same comments as the one before, except for I'm a fan of this guy. It's like, you know what? I don't listen to jazz slow ballads from the Whispers from 1982. I listen to this. I listen to this. You know what I mean? Because it had that kind of thing, and I could tell whatever you're doing, you're going to be really influential because you have a sound that I haven't heard. And I listen to a lot of music, and a lot of people do. It's just a matter of you toning it up so that it can fit the other formats in it, not copy them, just fit into them as your own character. Because I'm definitely a fan. I got it. As soon as this started playing, I said, oh, I get you. So now I know exactly what you're aiming at. And you actually, Unquantize and Quantize is not your label. But you could find some people at your label. You could actually even build a fan club on Bandcamp and then slowly develop. And
That's
develop
the
and
one,
develop
Tommy.
and develop.
That's the one.
So you know, hey, take it from me. I'm a fan. I like where you're going. I can see where you're going to improve. I give this one a 5.
Okay.
All right, we've got 5s all the way around. You know, funny, I'm still singing Infectious in my head, so there's something to be said about that.
Yeah.
I know sometimes we're doing demos and I like a song and Spen is like, where is the hook? Where's the thing that somebody's going to keep singing later on? And then he'll say no. So, but at least this has that thing in my head. I'm still, and I'm still.
Hence the reason why somebody like Tommy Davis really likes it.
Yeah. I
And,
mean,
and actually not even necessarily it. And you know, I mean, because these last 2 tracks were done by the same producer, you know, you have to, you know, kind of lump them together, and you know, it's not like one is completely different from the other. They're relatively the same as far as you know, production level. So.
And this person has a folder. I think they maybe sent us 15 songs or something like that.
Really?
We listened to two last week, and funny thing is that last time or the time before last, and the 2 were very different. You know what I mean? You couldn't easily tell that they were.
Yeah, if you didn't tell me that, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah. So all right.
Can I add one more thing, Kelly?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that, you know, people think it's easy for a well-established producer to dumb down to this, but no, they can't. Only you can do this kind of edgy kind of thing. Some of the comments you might hear is from what they can't do. What you're doing is a natural thing with you. I can tell it's part of what you are. You figure out how to do that, and the same people that's saying things that's not encouraging to you will be your fans. They'll say, wait a minute, I knew all the whole time. You got something going. And that's all I got to say.
Yeah, and Tommy, I mean, that's the purpose of the show, isn't it? You know, people were sending us music all the time saying, can you listen and give feedback? And we didn't have time. You know, we just couldn't give each and every person feedback on their song. So we are assuming that people know the label, they know what sound we're looking for, they know what we're about when they send us music. But sometimes they, you know, I think people just know that we're doing this and they're like, wait a minute, I'm going to get some professionals to give me some feedback. And we've had people take the feedback and fix the song and come back, and we've signed it. And we've had others who have written me and said, thank you very much. You know, I really like what whoever said, and I'm going to fix it. But maybe they take their song somewhere else where it's more appropriate, you know, for release on another label.
Right.
So this is all, you know, feedback that people know they're going to get. People are saying, I want to hear feedback. I want to hear the hard comments so that I can think about how to do my work. So not everybody has access to Charles Webster or Teddy Douglas or Tommy Davis,
right? Who I learned from. And let me tell y'all,
everybody doesn't have
y'all
that.
don't know.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I was doing stuff, and I think this kind of goes to what Jazz was saying. Back in the day, man, Tommy Davis and Teddy Douglas were hard on.
Let's not even talk about back in the day.
I don't even want to. Half of the stuff that I would turn it in.
Let's
smash.
not even talk about back in the day. Let's not talk about back in the day. When Spen makes a record, Tommy is usually one of the first people that will hear whether it's a remix or original production. And 9 times out of 10, Tommy says, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Do this. This too low. The lows, the hi-hats.
What are you
I don't
doing?
like this. What are you doing here? Why is this? And I have to deal with the 2 of them going back and forth for about 2 weeks. And after a week, I'm like, this song is good. I like this. He's like, Tommy actually hates it. I'm like, what?
Right. So it's
It's good
it's
to
a taste
have,
thing. That's
you
correct.
know, whatever you do, if you truly aspire to be great in whatever field you're in, you never stop learning. Because when you think you are at the top and that you don't need any more support or there's nothing more for you to learn, that's when you're no longer at the top. So, take the feedback, producers, for what it's worth, and that's the purpose of the show.
Yep, it is. And with that, this Talent Tuesday is a wrap.
It's a wrap?
I think it is a wrap. But let me say that here's something that I do want to say. As one of the most, what I'm going to call, especially from the underground, so many people are fans of Jazz and what he does. In like every way, it's crazy. And in a weird way, in my mind, he's very underrated. Like, he should be like doing what some of the like $1 million DJs out here should be doing. But he is consistent. You could tell he loves the music, and he loves the music for the music's sake. Because I don't think any of us are what we're gonna call rich. But let me say this, man. Jazz, you are a massive, massive influence on the music industry. And I pray that your giftedness will continue to just flourish and inspire people. It's crazy, man. And the fact that you're here with us tonight is just humbling. So I thank you for your time and your talent. I really, really do. It means more to me, actually us, than you could ever possibly imagine that you were on this show tonight. So thank you so very much.
It's the feeling's mutual, and it's late here, remember, and I've had two glasses of wine, so don't get me crying.
Oh, they're having a moment.
Oh, the bromance. No,
I'm gonna tease you when I see you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. No, but this is really nice for me to do. I'm just really happy to be involved and to be asked to be involved. I don't often get asked to be involved in these nice community things. I've done some work with Spen, and I know the label really well. I play the music off the label. I'm an incredible nerd, as you can probably see, and it goes on and over there as well. It's all a bit weird in here. I surround myself with technology because it's what I enjoy doing. I'm a sound designer, so it's when I get commended on my music, it doesn't kind of hit me the same way as it would somebody else. I'm not so capable of making the music, but the sound, if you know what I mean. So the sound,
right.
So I'm like an architect of audio, where I wish I could play like everyone else. I play okay, but I'm just.
What do you mean you play okay? I've heard you slaughter people.
DJ Dre in the chat says Jazz is a bad man. I love his work.
Just understand this. I'm just a boy from a council estate. I think you have a different word for that in the States, like a project. I had no music training. I was gifted the opportunity because I was into music on video games when I was a very young man to get a job in a distant city, which was 200 miles away. And at the age of 17, and that's where I started, and I built it up from there. And if I can do it, anyone can do it.
All right.
That
is. You all have been schooled. I mean, drop the mic on that one.
I don't think any of us are where we came from. That's for dang on sure.
Well,
yeah. So, but it is.
We appreciate
that's
you
really good,
being
man.
here. And we appreciate everyone for tuning in as always.
We appreciate you. Yeah, Tommy, thank you, and Candace, thank you for doing what you did in the background for us today.
Absolutely,
much appreciated,
and much love. We gotta say to everybody, we haven't posted a proper thank you.
For the love.
Such an amazing time at For the Love of House, Spen and Charisma back to back on Sunday.
Yeah.
We slept all day yesterday, and so we've not done a proper it's a labor of love, seriously. But people know if you put on events. But thank you for everyone who came. It seems like everyone had a good time. I hope you did.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you.
Right. Martin, you got anything you want to say? Anything you promoting? You want people to know about? Yeah, what you got going on?
I didn't know. Again, no idea.
Did y'all say a Spen and Ad Jazz project? Did I hear that? Spen and Ad Jazz
But
project,
it would break him. I'm sorry.
He needs to be broken.
He
needs to be broken. Okay? He will survive. He's been broken many, many times. He will survive.
I will just say that people have seen I've been working on an album for about 2.5 years, and it's got lots of people like, the wonderful Omar, Max Beasley, we've got Clara Hill, CO, Charisma. There's lots of people on the album, lots and lots of people on the album. It's about 20 tracks. So I am working on that. That's a thing. We've got lots of albums out this year by a wonderful singer called Sarai Jazz. If you've not heard her before, you'll hear her soon. Clyde, the man that brought You Serve It Up with capital A back in the day, back in my Mantis days, my old record label, has made a whole new album as well. And Side Choose album's coming out. So there's lots of brilliant projects on the fly. And you've also heard the new Dom Scott, which is out, which is a nice, beautiful instrumental deep house thing. So again, thank you everybody for just like we've all said in one way or another tonight. We all make this music for the reasons we're not rich. The reason we get by is because we work so hard at it. So take a leaf out of our book and get your knuckles red. That's how we do it.
Amen to that.
All right.
So again, let's see what's next for Praise Party is this coming Sunday. So make sure you hang out with us for that.
February is rolling. You will be very soon. Spen had a meeting with the Motherfunkers yesterday.
Yeah, so we're working on that as well.
Coming back for an appearance at Southport Weekender along with Sheila Ford and Mark Evans.
So that's going to be very interesting. So keep it tuned. Look at the Spen socials, Quantize socials. We'll give you more information on everything that we have got going on. Until then, peace in the valley, peace in the city, peace to your souls. We love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Thank you, Twitch family, Mixcloud, YouTube, and Facebook. We appreciate you. And until next time, peace.
See ya.